Mr. Randy Duck and welcome back for another video, and today we have a fantastic special guest replay provided to us by SchildMesser in the Grille 15. Now hopefully I pronounced his name right, but he has got his own YouTube channel and I've linked it to the description and the title of this video, so please go and give him a like and subscribe because honestly it's a fantastic game here. Now he's in a 3-man platoon on Duka Pass. He does have a friendly light tank with him, so you can hopefully go and spot for him to get some shots in the Grille 15, which is a tank that I really enjoy. Now there's 2 enemy fun police to contend with this time, so he is going to need to be a little bit wary of the enemy fun police. But initially here on Duka Pass, his friendly light tank has gone ahead to spot the sort of right hand side of the map, and he's just going to set up into a position early doors just to see if he spots anything and he can get some early damage in here. It looks like the enemy light tank does get spotted, and he does manage to shoot and connect that shell. It gets a bit unfortunate that that only does track damage there, but that is the nature of the TL100. That can happen. So now he's obviously going to relocate, trying to get himself into a better position so that if these tanks get spotted, he can try and do what a Grille can do best: stay unspotted, use its good mobility to get to those positions and just try and make that fantastic gun work here. So as you can see, early doors he moves up into position. There is 3 enemy tanks get spotted. He actually managed to get a brilliant first shot in because he sets that poor tier 8 on fire and he ends up getting 1,000 damage out of it. So a great start to the game here. Just got to be a little bit careful he doesn't get detected when he's in the open here, but he does have his friendly light tank spotting for him, and he's just going to try and just get some shots in. Like I say, the Grille 15, I think I did a replay in this on my channel fairly recently. It's honestly such a good tank now. Now you've got the 360 rotatable turret and the buff to the concealment, probably one of the biggest things. You can just play it how you would expect a Grille to actually play. Like before the buff, which is a little while away now, you just didn't have any concealment, but now you've got fantastic concealment, and you just got that really good 750 alpha gun. He does get detected there, and he needs to get into cover as quickly as possible, otherwise he can potentially lose a bit of hit points here. Like I say, he is still spotted and still targeted, but someone was obviously holding their shot. Must have been that enemy light tank. He puts the shot into him, and now he needs to pull back and try and get a little bit safe and wait for these shots to present themselves. Looking on the mini-map though, there isn't really many tanks, which is sort of down the 9-0 line, going towards their base. So got to be a little bit careful, but the enemy team don't put pressure on to kill his friendly artilleries and then go into the base. But he has enough heavy tanks there which can at least come back and get the resets if need be. But right now he's getting targeted by one of the enemy fun police, which is not ideal. As you can see, he must manage to splash him there when he's behind that rock. So he's lost sort of about 700 hit points, but he's still well in the game at the moment, although his team are starting to go down on the numbers. Gets a nice shot into that enemy heavy tank, putting them on to 2,300 damage. And he's looking to see if he can squeeze one into the Chrysler K there. But just as he fires, the Chrysler K does a little bit of matrix and pulls back into cover. His friendly platoon mate in the Chisel does manage to confirm the kill on the light tank, which is important because that's one of the biggest vision tanks for the enemy team, which has now been removed. And at this moment, it's not looking amazing for his team, just in the sense that they kind of got pinned in one location. So he's going to move here and try and see if he can try and win the 1-2, because a lot of the tanks got spotted coming towards his base. So he wants to try and win one side so that he can then come back and defend the base if need be. He does manage to shut down the AMX-30B there, picking up his first kill of the game, putting him on to about sort of 2,700 odd damage, and he's just waiting to try and lose his spot before he moves forward. As you can see, he wants to try and clear out the tanks here because a lot of the tanks have been spotted going towards his base. So he can go back and defend, but he doesn't want to get caught in a situation where they end up getting shrouded. So he's just going to try and confirm this side up as quickly as he can here. Spots a one-shot enemy heavy tank, and he then spots an enemy F3005, and he gets a lovely juicy shot into the turret there and gets back into cover. Now that's handy because I think that's good chance he's put that tank onto, yeah, he's definitely a one-shot now, because obviously he doesn't want to get shot by this tank, because it will, you know, probably one-shot him. But hopefully if he can confirm the kill. Now, the FE1005 has just killed his platoon mate in the light tank, but that does mean that, you know, we know now it's on reload, and he's able to push up aggressively while he's on reload and confirm that kill, picking up the second kill. And at this point of the game, everything's looking, you know, 8 versus 9. It's all pretty even, but that does change pretty quickly, and it sort of has a dramatic, you know, change to this game at the end. Gets a lovely shot into that enemy SU, putting him onto a one-shot, putting him onto about 4,000 odd damage with 2 kills, and hopefully he can confirm the kill on this SU. He's just trying to lose his spot so he can poke unlit and hopefully finish that tank off. He doesn't really want to lose, you know, any more hit points if he can help it, but he's just going to wait for his friendly chisel, who is full health, to push across, and that's probably going to give him the window of time to try and pick up that kill. As you say, you've got the 360 rotational turret, so you can sort of reverse up, which means you can drive out, you know, it gives you a quicker exit. But with the team now, enemy team now pushing into his cap circle, he's going to try and pick up the, you know, the pace here. Thankfully, the SU misses, and he's able to confirm that kill, picking up his 3rd kill of the game. And right now, we're still 7 versus 7, so it's still, you know, bang on even. Hopefully, his friendly team can kill the last remaining fun police artillery in towards the base. But he doesn't seem to be there. He's not at least detected, so he's probably run. I'm not sure what artillery it is to see how quick it is. But now he's going to head back to where most of the damage is, and that's towards, you know, his base right now. He's going to try and slap a shot into this heavy tank, though, as he makes his approach. Goes for the shot, unfortunately gets matrix again, where he just drives forward. But he may get an opportunity to shoot this Kranvarva there, or this Emil, as he crosses here. Looking for the shot, goes to the blind shot, can't have been a million miles away, but unfortunately doesn't connect. And now his friendly team have started to fall. It's gone down to a 3 versus 6. You know, it's changed pretty quickly. The enemy team do obviously now have the tank and the hit point advantage. And he's got to be careful that, you know, at the moment it's okay because the enemy team haven't gone into the cap circle, so it's not really put much pressure on him, so he can pull back and be a little bit safe while his friendly medium tank goes into spot, and he can try and cover his medium tank there and shoot the tanks which he spotted. So he does put a big shot into that enemy medium tank there, putting him onto a possible one shot, but more likely a 2. But now his friendly medium tanks put a shot into him, he's a certain one shot to him. Enemy team have started to apply cap pressure, so you now know one of the 6 enemy team remaining is in the cap circle, and he's going to try and work his way there. But there's still 2 minutes on the clock. You know, there's no need to panic at this stage. You still got time. It's not unless the enemy team starts to put more tanks in the cap circle when it's going to start to become a bit more of a problem. At this moment, he's just trying his best to protect cover his platoon mate and get those shots in. But now the enemy team have put another tank in the cap circle, and he needs to get over there, as quickly as he can, because if the enemy team put a 3rd tank in, then his cap circle is going to go right down, and it's now a 2 versus 6. Unfortunately, his friendly platoon mate does get taken out, leaving him into a tough time situation. In a 2 versus 6, he's got to get the reset as well. So he's going to head that way, because obviously if he doesn't get the reset, they're going to lose in 24 seconds. But he should have the opportunity to shoot this tank to pick up the first reset, which has bought him a little bit of time. He now got 50 seconds on the clock. Still a 2 versus 6 though. And he's just going to try and tuck around this rock, because the enemy team do still have the enemy artillery, which is not ideal. It's now been brought back to a 2 versus 5 with the Object 430 connecting that shot, and you've got about 35 seconds on the clock, so you're going to need to start making your way over there to get that reset. But there's also a medium tank coming behind. His friendly teammate is now being taken out, so it's a 1 versus 5, but he does have the option for the collie there. He gets a kill on the one-shot heavy tank, which is great, put him into a 1 versus 4 now, but 14 seconds on the clock. He's got to get this reset in. Thankfully, the enemy Polish tank managed to miss his shot. He's got put onto a 1 shot, but with the enemy fun police actually targeting him and the enemy tank coming behind him, the best thing to do is for him to push in to try and kill this medium, which is exactly what he's doing. Enemy heavy tank there puts a shot into him. He is now a 1 shot. I believe this tank's on reload. If he can come round and finish him off as quickly as he can. He can afford to eat a shot off of him if he needs to, and thankfully he doesn't. And that's brought it down to a 2 versus 1 situation. It's gone from a 1 versus 5 to a 2 versus 1 now, and it's very, very winnable. Enemy artillery is his biggest problem at the moment. You can see he's just trying to lose his spot, which he's done, and try and get into a situation so he can bait this other enemy tank in, kill this tank who's full health, and then he can deal with the enemy artillery after. But like I say, it's awkward because every time he gets, he's got to have to fight the Sky Police, the Fun Police, as well as this enemy heavy tank here. But thankfully he gets to finish, and now he's just got to dodge and hope this enemy artillery, the Fun Police, does not connect with that game ruiner. Thankfully he's managed to get out of there, and now he's on 8,000 damage, 7 kills, and all what he needs to do is kill the last remaining tank, this enemy artillery, to get the win there. So this is where you're thinking, yes, this is it. I can do this. I can get the collies. Just please, just don't make a mistake. Now, he knows roughly where the enemy artillery is. So what he's going to do, he's going to try and get back over to the other side, see if he can outspot this artillery. He doesn't want to come around the corner and find him there because looking at the hit point pool, 7%, this artillery is going to be full health, which means he's going to be probably a 2-shot for him to take out. So he wants to try and hopefully outspot him in the distance if he can. Now, if the enemy artillery is in the corner or is hiding, he can always go into the cap circle to try and bring the artillery out of the game. Now, thankfully, the Grille's got that fantastic concealment, so he should hopefully be able to outspot this artillery. But at this point, we don't really know where he is, so he's going to do probably the right play, to be honest with you, and just go and get into the cap circle, which means if the enemy artillery wants to win the game, he's going to have to come towards him, which is going to put him at a disadvantage. The enemy artillery is going to be at a disadvantage at that point because he's not going to be able to get over to the cap circle in time. So this is probably the correct decision. Get in that cap circle, force the artillery to come out, and you can use these sort of buildings to your left to try and protect you if that happens. So he's done that. He's gone into cap circle. This means now in 2 minutes for time, if the artillery does nothing, he's going to win the game and guarantee that Collie's medal. If the enemy artillery comes back for the and try and get a reset, which is probably what he wants, because he can then catch him out in the open and go for that 8th kill, so he can try and pick up the Radley medal on top of the collies and try and get even more damage out of this game. Like I say, the artillery's full health is on 7% hit points. So it's got over 1,000 hit points left to take out. And the artillery has come for the reset. He's spotted him, but he gets the shot in, and he's now can use those buildings to protect him. The artillery has fired, so he can pull back out and see if he can get another shot in. But the artillery has gone back into cover, so he's not going to sit there in the same situation, same spot, and let the artillery just shoot him. He's going to come behind this building just so he's safe again. And at this point, the artillery, like I say, he's got to either try and blind fire him in the cap and hope he hits him, or poke. And if he pokes, then he's going to be able to get shot. And he should be a one shot now to this Grille 15. So he's pulled right back. I guess he's just got to hope the R2 doesn't hit him. The R2 is fired. And yeah, at this point, it's going to be a win. Like I say, he's done the smart thing. He could have just moved in and tried to kill the artillery, but you always, he's on the collies, and you would be risking it at that point, where it seems unnecessary when he's going to be able to get the win at this point. The onus is on the enemy artillery to do something at this point, and hopefully he does poke, and then he might be able to pick up the 8th kill. But with only 41 seconds on the clock, he's going to get this game win in a second. But the artillery does poke to try and get the spot, and thankfully he's able to finish that off, confirming the collies getting just shy of 10,000 damage there with 8 kills. So a fantastic game in the Grille 15. Like I say, I have linked his YouTube channel to the description of this video. So go out and check out his channel. It's a great channel. And as always, thanks for your amazing support. As always, happy tanking.
Hadouken!